actually just around the corner. So we're kicking things off at the grill today. And as you might notice, this is a little different from our normal set. We are on the rooftop patio at 299 Queen Street West in Toronto. You can tell because there's this large building behind me. So we are in Toronto, and I'm very, very excited. Now, for some of you, grilling season has already been happening. I know there's lots of hardcore people in Canada who are like, Mary, as soon as it's over 0 degrees Celsius, I'm out there grilling things up. But for the rest of us, we're starting to dip our toe in. So I'm so excited because today I'm going to show you how to make my pineapple chorizo burgers. We're taking some burgers, going a little fancy, and I'm really excited about it. So the first thing I've done is I've heated my grill. I've got that to high heat. I've got the lid closed because that's gonna help that heat up really nice and quickly. Now, if you're a charcoal user, good for you. Personally, I don't have the time for that. So I usually use a gas or a propane grill, and then you are good to go. So while that gets to heating, I'm gonna get to work on the actual burger mixture. Now, this burger doesn't have a ton of stuff in it, but it is still packed in flavor. So the first thing I need is about a pound or 450-ish grams of ground meat. I'm using lean ground beef here. Now, I typically stick with a lean ground beef, not a medium or extra lean. Medium has too much fat in it, and it actually kind of all melts out, and you end up with a tiny little burger. Extra lean, obviously, not enough fat in there for deliciousness, so lean is the perfect thing for me. Now, to give this some more flavor and some spices without hardly having to do anything, I'm gonna use a chorizo sausage. Just a classic raw chorizo sausage. I've removed the casings from that. That's about 100 grams worth of sausage. So I'm just gonna add that right on in. Not the cutest thing in the world yet, but it's gonna cook up beautifully. And then I just kind of grab a couple of forks and just kind of break everything up until it all mixes together. As you can see, that chorizo, it's got some smoked paprika in there. There's a bit of cayenne. There's so much flavor, tons of garlic. So that deliciousness, already you can smell it, is gonna flavor up all of that beef so beautifully. Now, typically when I'm making a burger, I am someone who does like to add a little bit of a binder in there. Not too much though, I'm not a breadcrumb gal, but I do like adding in an egg yolk. Egg yolks are really great because they have fat in them. Oh, I'm too excited, maybe I swallowed a bug. Well, there, the dangers of cooking outside. Whew, we got it. All right, I am gonna add in an egg yolk. Egg yolks will bind things, but they also add fat. So I'm just gonna remove that white, just into a bowl, pop that aside, and then add that yolk right on into the mix. Now, you will notice that I'm not seasoning this with salt and pepper yet. Yes, that chorizo has a little bit of salt and pepper in there for sure, but to be honest, I don't wanna add the salt into this mix. I like adding the salt on the outside of the burger. Salt, like when you're cooking onions or things like that, tends to draw moisture out of things, and I want these to be juicy, delicious burgers. So I'm gonna season the outside of these babies, but you just wanna toss this up, kinda like the world's weirdest salad, until it looks well combined. And then this makes enough for 4 good-sized burgers. So I'm just gonna kind of like flatten this out. Then I kind of use my fork to draw a little bit of a cross down the center. And then to shape these babies, it is super duper simple. I like to get a little square of parchment paper or wax paper, pick up about a quarter of that mix, pop it on there. If you wanted to, you obviously could use just your bare hands for this, but we're keeping things clean today. Now I'm gonna grab another square of that parchment, pop that down, and just press that into a nice burger. Now, when you are shaping your burger, if you want it perfectly round, you can go for it. I kind of like a gnarly looking burger. I mean, I come by it naturally, last name, Berg, you got it all. But what I like to do here is I wanna make this burger about an inch bigger than the bun I'm gonna use. Anytime you're using ground meat, whether you are making meatloaf, meatballs, anything like that, it tends to contract as you cook it. So by making it about an inch bigger, it'll actually contract to fit that bun. Another tip I have is you wanna make the center of that burger a little bit thinner than the outside kind of border, essentially, because that way you don't end up with a meatball. Sometimes, if you do a perfect burger raw, it turns into a little meatball, which is not the worst thing in the world, but not what we're going for. So you want to shape those up. Then what I do is I pop them in the fridge. This is kind of opposite of what I typically do with meat. Typically with meat, I like to have it nice and kind of room temperature to go on the grill, but we want these nice and cold because burgers cook really, really quickly. So now it's time to start seasoning. So I've got some salt and pepper over here, and I'm going to season them pretty well. Well, this is like pretzel salt. This is good salt. I'm excited about this. You really see that. That's TV salt for you, let me tell you. Little bit of pepper on there as well. That is looking beautiful. And now we just gotta pop those on the grill. So again, I've got my grill heated to about high heat. It is nice and warm. If you're out in the chilliness, this is the good part. But I wanna oil this down a little bit. So you can use like a barbecue spray if you want. But what I do is I get a clean kitchen towel, and then I usually keep this for barbecue. Dip it in a little bit of oil, and then you just kind of rub that right on those grills. Just lightly. That's gonna get it nice and greased. This towel is now your barbecue towel because it's gonna look kind of not great, but that's gonna be delish. Now I'm gonna add those burgers on to that grill. So just grab your lifter. We've got that indent in the center, and I'm just gonna slap these babies right onto there, and you can hear that sizzle. Now, since these are on the thinner side, these little numbers are gonna cook in probably about 3 minutes per side. So get those babies on there. And then in addition to that chorizo flavor that is gonna be so delicious and wonderful, I also wanna add on some brightness and freshness. So for that, I'm gonna use pineapple. So come on over here. First, I'm gonna talk to you about pineapple. If you're buying your pineapple already cored and everything, you are good to go. But if you wanna buy it like fresh, with the peel on, with everything, the way you find out if your pineapple is fresh is you can smell it. It'll smell like a pineapple. But my favorite trick is grab one of these leaves kind of in the center and just pull. If that comes out easy, that's a ripe pineapple. That is gonna be so juicy and wonderful. So if anyone comes at you when you're ripping a pineapple apart, just tell them Mary Berg sent you. It'll be fine. Now I've got some of that pineapple here, and I'm just gonna cut 4 nice kind of slices because I wanna put pineapple on this burger. And I know there's probably gonna be people out there who don't like this idea, but I think it's a delicious idea. It's juicy, it's sweet, it caramelizes. So 4 little rounds of pineapple. Gonna toss those on the grill as well, just to get a little bit charred and a little bit golden. And then the last thing I wanna throw on that grill to get even more grilled flavor is just a couple of green onions. Just 2 green onions or 3 popped right on. You don't even have to oil them. They're gonna cook down, get a little bit sweeter. That is gonna be so, so delicious. Again, those need about 3-ish minutes per side. But first I wanna get to work on my buns. Now, I come from a toasty bun family, so I like to pop them on the grill. So I'm just gonna grab my buns and just slice them in half. Now, you can use like a fancy brioche bun, you can use a potato bun, any sort of bun you like. To be honest though, a brioche bun looks beautiful, but there's so much juiciness in those burgers. I kind of like a bun that has a little bit more absorption power to get that juiciness. You know what I'm talking about? All right, I'm gonna pop these babies onto the grill just to toast up, let them do their thing. This is where you grill real estate becomes very important. You gotta like chuck stuff around. Now I am gonna grab those green onions off of there as well to free up some space, and I'm gonna make those into a sauce. Now before I do that though, we're not just making regular burgers, we're gonna make cheeseburgers. So I've just got some pepper jack cheese here. You don't have to do this, but it adds a little bit of something something onto these babies. So just add that onto the grill, onto those burgers. And then I am gonna close the lid for this last little bit. That's gonna give you a little bit of convection heat, which is just gonna kind of go around those burgers and melt that cheese, and it's gonna be a total dream. So while that does its thing, I'm gonna get to work on a sauce, because I love a sauce. So I've got these green onions here, and they're nice and charred and sweet and delicious. Honestly, next time you're even making a steak, char up some green onions, everyone will think you're an absolute wizard and be like, oh my gosh, where did you go to school? The cordon bleu? You're so fancy. But all you did was chuck those green onions on the grill. The really green parts are nice and kind of crispy and charred, whereas the white parts get almost creamy and delicious. So I'm gonna put that into a nice little sauce. So I've got a bowl right here, and I'm gonna add all those green onions right on into there. And then in addition to those green onions, I am gonna add on some mayonnaise, because I'm a mayonnaise person when it comes to pretty much any sort of sandwich. So just about a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise going straight on into that bowl. You can do a Mary Berg 1/4 cup, which is closer to 1/2 cup, but you do you. And then into there, I'm also gonna add in a little bit of cilantro. This is totally optional if you're not a cilantro fan, but that cilantro just brightens things up a little bit, makes it really, really nice. Just about a tablespoon though, don't worry, we're not putting in too much. If you do wanna leave this out, feel free, that's totally cool. So just chop that up, pop that in the bowl, season that up with a little bit of salt, little bit of pepper. And if you wanted to, some smoked paprika in here would be great. But again, because we've charred up those green onions, they're gonna be nice and kind of smoky to begin with. So that sauce is looking delicious. Let's check on those buns. Let's see how they're going. Oh, that cheese. Do you look at this cheese? We got a little golden brown cheese action. I've never been more excited about anything in my life, I think. Okay, looking beautiful. So I am just gonna grab one of those buns. This guy's looking good. A little bit of char on there, looking beautiful. I'm gonna lay down just a bit of that beautiful mayonnaise-y sauce with that charred green onion. A little bit of lettuce just in case we're going a little on the healthy side. And then we're just gonna put this burger together. Grab that delish burger with that melty cheese right off that grill. Pop that on top. Little bit of that charred pineapple. It's soft, it's creamy, it's delicious. Top burger, well, he's right on there. I'm already ready. Pop that on, and I feel like a couple of potato chips right on the side, and maybe a nice cold pint of beer, but I got 2 pints of beer here, so Owen Reeves is coming up later in the show. Owen, why don't you get out here and try this burger? Hello, sir.
Hello, twist my arm, you're cooking?
I know. First off, enjoy that. Do you want to give it a taste?
Yes.
Yes, okay, cool. He's gonna give it a taste. I'm gonna do a little beer slip. How's that going? Oh, that's a good looking burger. Feeling good? Yeah, we got a thumbs up from Owen Reeves. He's a polite man, not gonna talk with his mouth full. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.